Welcome back to Passive Florist Studio. Today I will be showing you how to make a DIY boutonniere. We're going to be making the boutonniere with elements from the garden. So it's going to be very seasonal and something that will be very simple for you to go out and find a couple beautiful little items to put together your own boutonniere. The way I will be making the boutonniere can be applied to other boutonnieres as well. You don't have to use these exact flower varieties. It's just putting together color combinations, which is fairly simple, and tying it all together. What we are going to be using to build the boutonniere today is yarrow, which you will find growing in fields. This is actually a garden variety. This is a wild sweet pea, and this will be our little background element. Just these whimsical little tendrils are so lovely. This is geranium foliage, and I love it because it's just different. It's got this beautiful white edge around it with just a hint of burgundy in the middle and green. Some nice texture. This is a flower called Montana Blue Star, and it just has a little hint of that French blue. And this last one is Larkspur. When creating your boutonniere, you'll want to use the same principles that are applicable to building a centerpiece or a bouquet. So we're going to start with the greenery. So we're going to start with the sweet pea. And as you're building this, you might decide, I'm going to pull this leaf off right here. You can go back and edit it as in any floral design that you're doing. So don't feel like you're married to it. As you're building this, try to visualize how it will be laying on the jacket when you pin it on. I'm going to add another piece of geranium foliage. So now we have our nice background that we will add the flowers to. We're now going to start adding the flowers, and I see that the yarrow might be a little bit too thick for a boutonniere for a man. It's okay for a corsage, but for the guys, you want to do something a little less frilly. So we're just going to place that in front, and I'm actually going to take that little piece off as well, pull that down a smidge. And so you just want to hold that with your right hand, or if you're left-handed, vice versa. And then we're going to add the Montana Blue Star, kind of nestled in behind that other geranium foliage. There's really no exact science to this. It's just stepping back as you would with any other floral design and seeing if it looks good. And then I'm going to include the larkspur, and I think I'm going to stick it on this side, kind of tucked down in, and you can mess with it until you get it just right. And I think our boutonniere is ready to be wrapped. So we're going to wrap our boutonniere with Oasis floral tape, which sticks to itself. This is great for wrapping boutonnieres. And you just pull it around the back, and then you twist it around as tightly as you can. It's sticking to itself. Pull it off, and you're probably gonna have to do a little shifting around. Try to pick flowers that are pretty hardy and tough. You don't want your boutonniere to wilt. This will perk back up when we get it in water. So what you're going to do next is cut the base so that all the stems are lined up. I'm actually going to take that little leaf off because I don't like it. And again, if you need to do a little more shifting around, they do kind of have a mind of their own. And now we're going to apply the ribbon to the boutonniere. When you're choosing the ribbon for your boutonniere, it's always good to look at the elements, the colors in your piece to see what would be the best option. I'm going to use this beautiful hand-dyed French blue silk ribbon. We've moved our boutonniere onto this nice backdrop so you can see a little easier what we're going to be doing. We're adding the gorgeous ribbon now, and I'm going to come around from the front because this is a fairly wide ribbon, and catch the ribbon on itself and pull it pretty tight. You don't want loose ribbon around that boutonniere. We're going to put one knot into it, and then I'm going to add another knot. So when you've added your knot, you can go back. There are several different cuts that you can do. I'm just going to do an angled cut. There's also a cut called a fishtail, but I think in this situation, the angled cut is going to be our best bet. I always cut them on opposite directions. So my flat side is going to be facing up on the other side. So we have completed our boutonniere with the ribbon. The last thing that I do before I send these off to the groomsmen and groom is I add 2 pins, because you never know, one might just disappear accidentally. And our boutonniere is ready for packaging. After you're finished with your boutonniere, your lovely seasonal boutonniere, to store it, I like to keep it in a small dish of water, just so that the stems can drink. And I do that right up until the time, probably a couple hours before the wedding, and then we apply the ribbon because we don't want the ribbon to get all wet. And at that point, you can put it in an airtight container or a plastic plastic bag if you're not worried about how it's going to look. And give it a little spritz of some water. Make sure it stays cool and you're good to go. We have completed our DIY boutonniere in the studio today. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and make sure you subscribe to Pass the Floor Studio for more DIY floral design.